How about you guys join me on this wonderful process of draining the 212? Sounds awesome, is it? No. Not at all. I don't have a fuel siphoner. That just makes my situation worse. This 212 is currently draining all of its fuel into here. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure is about full. Still draining fuel, by the way. I'm going to quickly switch cans here because I don't know level. Oh, that's pretty close to full there, folks. That is full. Nice. Alright. Yeah, so this thing's about 3.5 liters of fuel, pure fuel. Like, literally, just purely 3.5 liters. Or, well, that would be like 9 something liters, actually, but... yeah, this thing's about 3.5 gallons. I'm trying not to say liters because, yes, I'm part Canadian and I am somewhat used to the Canadian things. Like, kilometers, I think it's about 1.5 times bigger than mile per hour. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Bring out my inner Canadian. It's winter. Why not? But, yeah. So, let's turn the tripod legs for you guys. But currently just draining the fuel, which actually just runs up along here, right by all these linkages. Honestly, not the safest option, but John Deere chose to do it. Or this could be a custom fuel line, you never know. Do I know? No. Do I know that this tank is roughly around 2.3 to 3.5 gallons? Yes. Why? Because I have trusted sources. So, today, also, if you guys want to see me take off this hitch back here, good luck. Because, it's always a bad sign when this is tightened down. You can spin it. Actually, I think I just broke it loose. Hold on. Hey! Okay, never mind, folks. There you go. Oh. Well, that's a funky looking, normally this thing is sticking out of here and there's just a bolt. The other way around. By the way, I do believe this is standard with the 212. Like, this came with it. I believe so. I'm not entirely sure. By the way, at least there's something beautiful still on the 212. We're just going to fully screw this in. Not going to get too tight. Hopefully keep that good old thing looking beautiful as ever. By the way, I do have a polisher and plan to possibly use it on this thing after I put a new coat of paint on it. Also, this tank is gonna be flushed. That's not gonna be fun. Not at all. Especially without a fuel shutoff valve, which I don't believe this thing has, believe it or not. Which, by the way, back then, and still is today, by law, the brand is by law required to put a shutoff valve on these big old mowers, any riding lawnmower, because of runaway possibilities. Yes, these things aren't diesel, but could still, depending on how you define it, could technically become a runaway. Seat sensor could, you never know, fail, which this thing doesn't have one, by the way. So yes, if you quite literally fall off this thing will keep rolling. Without a shutoff valve, there's no way to stop it. But then yet again, are you going to really try and peek your head under there and get it to shutoff valve? I mean, I probably would, knowing me. Alright. Now we're still draining fuel right now. I just think it's kind of funky how this thing is just held in by friction. That's kind of a bit weird. Also, why is this over here? There's nothing that comes down there, so it's kind of weird. Because if you look at the bottom of the body, there is no indent at that spot. But yeah, I just took out the pedal hose over here. It's over there now. I plan on possibly greasing this thing up. Greasing up over there. Might do that. I'm not sure if I want to do the clutch. I just need to get some snap ring pliers first. And we could get this thing all done. But I'm not putting that brake back in until I'm ready to do all the process at once. But yeah, I don't have anything to push fuel out of this thing, so that's going to be wonderful. It's definitely going to be wonderful. Yeah, this old 212 is just draining fuel. Thought, talk to you guys as we go through this boring process. So, I think of something to talk about. Well, I'm just going to prop up this fuel tank a little bit. I need to get a fuel siphoner. Something you definitely need to do. This is like this. I don't even know what this is. Definitely not a fuel shutoff valve, though. I'm gonna wait till this thing completely drains the entire tank, too. And this thing isn't even like halfway empty yet. So it's gonna be fun. So this 212 is gonna be running. This 212 isn't really gonna be running anytime soon, as of right now, because of the amount of parts I need for it. But it's I can't really do too much right now. I want to get this thing up and running for the winter, but I don't have any winter equipment. This thing doesn't have really much room to go around with, and honestly, I don't even have winter equipment for it. So that also kind of sucks. By winter equipment, I mean things that let it run in the winter, like chains, for example. Because this thing is big, beefy, and heavy. Also, both rear tires have different treads. At some point. And I do believe, both front tires also have different tread types. The left side and right side both have the same tread types, but different. I think all tires should be the same, but I guess not, for some odd reason. I'll show you that tread pattern, and look at that tread pattern. Same. Look at that tread pattern, look at that tread pattern. Not the same. If we come around to the front, that tread pattern and that tread pattern are different. this tread pattern and this tread pattern are both the same. So these two are the same, and those two are the same, but both sides are different. Weird. Because now I gotta find the original tread type for it. Which just leads to more winter problems, as grip will be different on both sides. Hopefully it's not too boring. I know you guys probably... No one's probably gonna watch this video. We're getting pretty low. Okay. So, now for the hard part. We gotta try and... Okay, that was something. We gotta try and get that one line off, or get that unhooked and ready to come off, and then quickly rush that tank over to here. Hopefully not make too much of a mess. Now looking, see what I'm talking about here. I gotta disconnect that. Rush that over to there. I hope we don't make a mess. So, let's do this. First off, we're just gonna move this away a bit. Let's see if it's still draining fuel. It is not. So we can officially set that on the ground. And now we can remove fuel line up top. Ooh. Ouch, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Also, this thing isn't draining fuel at all right now. Yep, I've injured myself. That's fun. That's fun. That is quite the glorious sight. I gotta go and get a band-aid real quick so I don't get infected. Alright, I'm back. Just did that so that way it would stay on. I don't want to get an infection now, and we are leaking fuel now. So now I gotta hold this here for a while. This thing in gear so it don't move. Got this tank. Its nozzle to hold up fuel tank. There we go. Smart thinking. Alright. Got that over and done with. So, probably shut off the flash here. Yeah, you should be careful when working with these things. Just gotta... Out it comes. Hey, at least it's one big pipe. Not multiple small ones. But yeah, that's transaxle. Boys and girls, that is... I should probably make it so you guys can see. Reverse. First. Second. Third. Fourth. I gotta move it a bit, but yeah. That's cool. Now that that's all off, you can just, I guess, wait this all to drain, which is probably going to be a while. But yeah, be careful when working on these machines, folks, because you can easily injure yourself. I know it's kind of common sense, but I just like to stress it because there are a lot of people out there that really don't care. Some people, they'll just like, a lot of people will just be like, I'm fine, they won't do anything about it, and then they get an infection there, and then they gotta get then possibly get their finger or whatever injured part of their body amputated. And that's never fun for anybody. Trust me, I know it from experience. I've had to witness people get their fingers amputated before, and it was not fun in the slightest. But yeah, we got this old 212. Well, there goes the gas cap. Poor kid don't know how to put his bike away. Next time he leaves it in my way, I'm just gonna put it on the ground and leave it. Because I told him numerous times not to leave it right there. Because if this thing rolls back, his bike's getting run over, and then bye-bye bike. Because this thing is an absolute tank, and will crush that thing, no problem. Yeah, we also got to get some work done here in the front forks. You can see how it's all bent there. This one over here is just like completely fine. But besides that, this 212 is doing really, really good. I'm proud of that. It's just the whole fact now that the 212 has to get new fuel lines and possibly a new fuel pump. You need new fuel lines, new pump, new connectors, new clips, possibly new clips. Oh, I'm going to get new clips regardless. So new clips, new fuel lines, new filter, new fuel pump, and depending on the gas tank condition, maybe a new gas tank. Although if you don't feel like that's necessary, and we should only have to, well, you know what? No, we're flushing this thing, because this is going to be like $200 to get, and I'm not paying $200 for that. You are going to be absolute mad if you think I'm doing that. Rust galore. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen, I don't remember if I did a video, but this thing was absolutely nasty. I mean, caked. I mean, absolutely caked in dirt. Like, you see all that down there? It's like absolutely caked in dirt. Imagine that, but like 10 times worse, and is on this whole entire thing. Yeah, I went with soapy water, a rag, and completely wiped this entire thing down. I dirtied about 10 shop rags doing that, but it was well worth it because it looks really, really cool. And if you looked at older videos, like when I first got this thing, you could tell the top of this thing, just top over here, was nasty. Even the body looks cleaner. I know it's been a long time since I've done that, but hey, you gotta, hold on, I'm getting annoyed by this. There, it was like behind this piece, so I had to align it. Because, you know, I'm one of them people where if if I make a square and that square isn't perfect, I'm going to get annoyed, and I won't rest until it's fixed. But yeah, so I just really want to thank you guys for all the love and support on this 212. Caden really isn't a car person. He's more about like war and see what else. War, shooting, all them kinds of things. He's not really a car person at all. So, I mean, he's like bone stock. How do I say this? I'm not trying to be rude. Bones stock. Let's see here. It's like bone stock clueless when it comes to this stuff. I've taught him a few things, but not much. And so he doesn't really care about this stuff at all. Also, someone suggested getting new forks for this thing. I might do that. Depends. But yeah, for whoever commented that, please let me know what kind of forks I should get. Maybe ones with suspension, because that would be nice. Then yet again, I'm probably going to have to, saw and cut this whole rear frame to fit suspension back here. But I think it'd be worth it in the end. Now, what do you think? New forks? That bend kind of, scares me a bit. Like, is that supposed to be there, or is that bent from the weight that's been on this thing? Don't know. One thing I would just like to say about this 212, though, is that this 212's come a very, very long way. I am very proud of how far this thing has come. I mean, ever since when my dad first gave it to me, for me just to purely work on, was already awesome. This thing was an absolute disaster and wouldn't even run out of the box. I mean, it did until it sat and then it wouldn't run, and now we're getting this thing back into running and working condition because, good old Ethan was literally killing this thing. Like, this thing, he would run this thing through mud, dirt, through gravel. He'd run this thing through very thick clouds of dust. There was times where he'd be hitting trees or whatever with this thing. Honestly, he didn't care. Then he started going into the engine bay and cutting random wires. Hence to why the wiring harness in there is so screwed up and why the headlights don't work. Yeah, he was literally killing this thing, and he did not care. So my dad eventually was fed up with it. He brought it here once and gave it to me. And he's really proud of what I've been doing with this thing. Because I got to get this thing back alive from what he's done to it. But I'm going to do everything in my power. Also, can I take this off? I don't want to break it. That's the thing. How's this thing held on? Oh, it's just a clip. Let's see if I can wiggle it loose here. Slowly getting this off. Well, slowly but surely. There she goes. Ooh. Yeah, you can see that nasty beehive. Wow. That is one heck of a light cover. You know what that V-shape reminds me of? Good old Chevrolet Camaro. How the nose is all, well, hasn't always been, but has kind of always been a V-shape. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. Also the Corvette. Corvette has a similar nose shape. Alright. Yes, I'm going to be kind of a wuss when it comes to this, but we're getting this thing out. Wow. Purely that easy. I threw it into the neighbor's yard. Okay. Let's slowly get this thing here. Wow. That is one heck of a light place there. But yeah, if you guys are probably going to ask, I won't talk about Caden very much on the channel. He does not entirely like being the spotlight. He's got social anxiety, and we're going to just respect that here on this channel. Although I do want to talk to him about possibly hooking him up here with the channel. You know, because he's my best friend. And I want to make him feel special. Yeah, this is going to have to be gone through with a wire brush. Brass wire brush, by the way. Use one with brass bristles, not the metal bristles, because that will destroy this. Brass bristles are normally used on plastics. Let's go see if I... Oh, whoops. I'm going to open up the garage quick. I got the garage opening up. I'm going to grab a wire brush quick. folks, I'm back. I got several different brushes here. Mainly, I'm going to be using this one. This is a brass bristled brush. You can see how it's got a kind of like a yellow to it. These brass bristles are normally going to be a yellow. So that's how you can identify it. It's going to be yellow instead of like a shiny white or shiny silver. This is supposed to be used on plastics, or is better on plastics because it doesn't really scratch. But yeah, that's what we're going to do here. Also, today, as of right now it's Sunday, I'm planning on putting my old pirated version of The Long Drive on the channel. It's an older pirated version of the game, but I'm planning on putting on the channel anyway. So, just slowly cleaning it here. Actually, you could spray bottle. Right here it says Bana hardwood floor cleaner. That's not what's in here. It's actually just soapy water. But yeah, that's just how we're gonna clean this for right now. I just get come in here like this with this one. I believe it's just, this isn't metal or brass. It's more of just like kind of like a regular, kind of like your toothbrush, but also kind of like a broom at the same time.